For the audience, if you have kids, definitely this is going to help you. That too, if they are school going age, if they are going to private school, or if you want to use the funds for something, it's going to help you.
It's definitely going to benefit parents, families, students, all three of these.
All right, I'm very excited. We have an off topic. We are not going to talk about mortgage or real estate. But if you subscribe to our channel, you do know that we also cover things that helps the community. So here I have a special guest with me who is going to talk about education tax credits.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. So my name is Rushabh Kamdar. I'm a consultant by profession. And how I came into this topic, educational tax credits, is I have two little kids myself. I have investigated this topic very recently. I lived in Arizona for almost 40 years. I myself did not know about this program. And when I first heard about it, I was blown away. I literally thought it was a scam. And most people, when they hear about this, they think it's a scam. They think it's illegal. This is an official state program. And it's very unique to Arizona. Almost every state does not have this. It's very, very unique. And so many people move to Arizona. Of course, they're not going to hear about it. People move here from out of the country. And like I said, myself, my friends, even we did not know about it. When do you find out about it? When your own kids go to school, or you run into someone else who has kids going into school. Those are usually the two ways. Educational tax credits. It's definitely going to benefit parents, families, students, all three of these. This is a different kind of tax credit. So we often see tax credits where maybe you have kids and the government just gives you money to help you out, that kind of a tax credit, and it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket.
Okay, let's step back. Explain to me what this program is and how did you find out about it?
Yeah, and before we go there, I want to say, even if your kids are not going to private school, any school, kids and those families will benefit from this program. But I'm going to show you why anybody who doesn't have kids, they're even more critical for the success of this program. So those people who don't have kids should very much pay attention to all of this.
What is this called? Education tax credit?
Absolutely. Yeah, let me explain how it works.
Okay.
So basically, Arizona is a state where it allows taxpayers to decide where their tax dollars should go. So yes, we can just pay tax and it will go directly to the government, and the government will decide what to do with the money. But we can take a portion of that tax money. I will make up a number, $6,000. If that is my state tax liability, I can choose to give $3,000 or $4,000 to the government. In balance, I will give to support education, public schools, private schools, extracurricular activities and programs, even tuition. We can use this money in so many different ways. So at the end of the day, I have this $6,000 state tax liability. I have to pay it. This is not a way to get out of paying it. I can choose to take some of that money and put it somewhere specifically so that educational things can happen.
That's terrific. So it's not like a tax reduction. Like if we buy real estate, we get to reduce our taxable income. This is not like that. The entire tax liability, which you are going to pay anyway, that money you can essentially put to use.
Absolutely. So this is not a donation.
Not a donation.
Not a deduction. This is literally the best way in some sense to think about it is a reimbursement. You are going to pay this money towards a school, towards a tuition, towards a softball team, chess club, so many different things. And then you will get all of that money back. Again, I did not benefit, but I am helping so many other people in the community. And it does not matter if you have kids or not.
This is even better than a tax deduction because this, if I have to re-summarize it, basically if I owe state, let's say $6,000 in that example, so I have to pay the state regardless. Instead of state deciding where the money goes, with what Rishabh is talking about is you can actually pick and choose where the money goes.
Absolutely.
And where does the money go and how do we care? So that's the second part also I got very interested in. Money can pay for your friends' kids' education, right? So talk about this, how it
absolutely. And so there's a educational tax program is for both public school and private school. And so in some of these ways, you can give directly for your own kids' activities. And that contribution limit is roughly $400. And then there is also another bucket of funds here, which is roughly $2,500. This program is designed such that I cannot give my own state tax liability to my own kids. Cannot do it.
Obviously, yeah, makes sense.
They don't want you to do that. Also, at the same time, if you have kids and I have kids, I cannot give to your kids and then you give to my kids. You cannot swap and trade. This is literally a community program. You have to find people in the community and help someone else, and they will help someone else, and they will help someone else. And that is how this entire program is designed. So the state wants you to do it, and they want you to do it in this manner.
That makes sense because both my kids went to New Vistas and we remember paying about $1,100 a month for each kid. So it's like almost $2,500 liability that we had with supplies and all that. We heard about that program that time. But then someone told me that it's illegal for us to form groups wherein I pay for him, he pays for and let's say ABC, right? A pays for B's kids, and then B pays for C's kids, and then C pays for A's kids. Like it's like a triangle. Kind of a setup is illegal, I heard. Is that true, or what is the thing? I'm already past that time now.
Yeah, so everywhere, if you ever read the fine print, it just talks about swapping. Now, how this other thing works, I don't know the specifics of that. But what I can say is there is so many people in Arizona that we don't even have to worry about triangular trading or circular trading. It is irrelevant because, for example, people who have kids, your kids are now in high school, they're out of this and they don't necessarily need these funds necessarily. So your tax liability, there's no point in you receiving from anyone because you can help someone else.
I can help someone else.
And my kids are only going to be kids for a little bit while. So in the short term, sure, I would appreciate any funds coming this way. It offsets, all these other extra expenses. Then after a few years, I can sit here and say, you know what, my tax liability, I'm not going to help anyone. Why?
Why? Exactly.
I'm going to benefit, and for the rest of my life, I will be using this program as long as it exists. It would be selfish of me not to use this program. Why would I not benefit the community? Let me tell you something else. I'm thinking from the research I've done, almost $500 million is being transferred between people doing this kind of thing. That's how big of a program it is. I mean, there are the state tuition organizations, right? They process, like one of them, the biggest one, processes more than $190 million of tax credits. Think about how big this is. And there are communities. This is not necessarily a religious organization, right? But you can think of churches and temples and any group. They all have a community and they all help each other, right? It doesn't have to be within a community. Anything is a community, a real estate community, a school, people who are going to a common school, people who play soccer together. Everybody can participate in this. If you are earning any income, which means you are paying tax, then you qualify to participate in this program. Everybody pretty much qualifies.
Yes, and to take it to the next level, for somebody like me, my kids are in teens, they're already in high school, I might not benefit from it, but it's beneficial for me to pay some other kid's education, wherein I can decide to choose, okay, let's say there is somebody in my YouTube community, in my life club, if there is a subscriber, they have kids going to New Vistas or a private school, I'll be able to, instead of writing the check to the Arizona Department of Revenue directly, would pay for the child's education of somebody in my community to help. Granted, I cannot take a benefit, but why? It's better to help somebody else.
Why not help?
Why not help them?
Someone
Exactly.
you know in your own life, right? And again, you will get every penny back, right? And so
That's great. So how does it work? Going into the accounting part of it, because my CPA does my accounting. So do I pay it before the tax filing or do I pay it after tax filing?
absolutely good question, right? So basically, you can do this year round. Now, the optimal time to do it is before a tax filing. But even if you have filed your taxes, you can file an amendment, which, I'm one of these people where when I think about taxes, I'm like, oh, I hate doing taxes. I wait till the last moment. Maybe that's many of us. And so when I first heard about this program, I thought it was a scam. I thought it was complicating my taxes. And when I finally realized it is so easy because, for example, I use TurboTax and there's always a screen on there and I always ignore it and I just hit next. The line says, did you contribute to the educational tax program? Yes. What was the date? How much money? Next. As soon as I hit next, within 30 seconds, I can see my tax credit coming back to me. It's, it tells you immediately. And it's so easy, like 2 minutes.
So if somebody did it in, like, now we are filing taxes for the last year, right?
Yeah.
I didn't write a check last year. So last year is gone, but for 2023 I can do, and this is going to help for next year. So I have until end of this year to do it, but this is the time to do it because semester starts right after summer and all the fees is due. So it's good to do it right now. And can I just write the check
Yeah.
to the school, or
No.
can I write it to the recipient?
Yeah, so let me come in. So the timing wise, so for example, the 2022 tax year is just finishing and we are in 2023. So for that, if you haven't filed your taxes, this is the perfect time. If you've just recently filed, it's so easy with all of these things. If you have an accountant, you're using TurboTax, hit the amend button. It's so easy to do.
So we can contribute for 2022?
Yes, this past year.
Oh, until the tax filing date.
Until the tax filing
Oh,
date. Everybody watching this, right? We still have time to do this before April, even if you have filed your taxes. And it is for last year's tax year, right? And that money, when it comes in, that'll be used for the next, upcoming year and whatnot. So yeah, parents and families will benefit now, in the upcoming months from that perspective. Now, the process of it, you asked, how does this work, right? So there are STOs, they're called, which is not important. But basically, I will tell you, it is so easy to make the contribution. It is as easy as buying on Amazon. In fact, I was shocked by how easy the system is. You literally go in as though you're creating a new Amazon account. What is your name, email address? Are you married, filing jointly? Swipe your credit card, hit submit. And all your receipts forever are stored in there. You get a receipt right away. It is that easy. Like, if it takes you more than 10 minutes, I will be shocked. Something is wrong.
Okay, I need clarity on this.
Yes.
Okay, if I have to do it for 2022,
Yeah.
So whom would I write the check to? And check.
I will give one example. So like, just because my kid's school happens to use one of these organizations and it's called IBE, but there are many of these. So we would just go to the IBE website,
Okay.
Which is called the Institute for Better Education.
So it's almost like a third party custodian.
Yes, third party, right? If you are going to contribute to my kids, you can never give me the money directly.
So I have to pay to the custodian.
Pay it, yeah. Kind of think of it as almost like escrow in that sense. Someone else is holding the money and holding millions of dollars. They know where the money came from.
Okay.
You have to write a note, says this is for this student, or this is going to this school, or for this activity. They will hold it. And when it comes time for, tuition to be due or anything like this, that organization, they will say, hello, does this student, this name, does he actually go to this school? Oh, yeah, it's US. Okay, does he have any tuition is due? They'll be like, yes, there's tuition here. Okay, we received some funds from somebody in this amount, and we are going to transfer from that custodian directly to the school. So your money, I can never see it, I can never touch it, and it can only be used for education. So your money, this is not some way for you to transfer money to me behind the scene. Nothing like that.
So if I may, I want to summarize it so that we all are on the same page. I don't have kids that are going to school wherein I have huge payments. They go to public school. But I do have a liability to the state. I pay my income tax. So instead of paying the state the income tax directly, I'm going to pay to one of the custodians. Custodians list, I'm going to provide you some resources in the description so that you have access to it. So I write a check to the custodian, part of what I want to donate to this program. And then I'm going to tell them which kid is going to get profited and which institution is going to get reimbursed for the fees. It could be one of my friends or one of the community members. If your kids are going to New Vistas, then reach out to me. I'll be able to probably connect you to somebody, or I'll be able to contribute for your kids' education, because I'm going to pay the state anyway. I'd rather pay your kids' education. So reach out to me for that. And then the funds get dispersed. So it's not really costing me anything out of my pocket, but then it's going to help the community in general. That way, the taxpayer is able to targetedly help families that are in need. Right? Did I summarize it? Did I miss anything?
No, that's very good. And then, but I want to mention something. We're focusing a lot on private school, but there is also a $400 public school tax credit. Your kids do go to a public school. They are probably in some kind of activity, some sports or any extracurricular. They have fees for that. They have to pay maybe for a field trip or supplies or uniform. I have Arizona state tax liability just like anyone else. I can give $400 to you or anyone else for that activity. So you don't have to pay out of your pocket that fees. and you can benefit. So even if your kids are going to public school, you can still benefit from this. Now, as far as those people who don't have kids right now, just imagine this, right? I meet someone, they have a 1-year-old child. They're not going to school. They can help the community. And soon their kids will be in school. So then like, for example, if someone, if I ask someone to say, help with this, right? It doesn't cost you any money. Can you help me with your state tax liability and offset some of my expenses? And if they say no by chance, and then a few years later, their kids are older, how can they come back to me and say, hey, Rushabh, now can you help me? Right? Like, we all have to help each other. That is the program. And my own state tax liability, like, I cannot use it for myself. So it's use it or lose it in that sense. I think in the description below the video, we can put my contact information there and they can reach out to me. I'm happy to give one-on-one explanation of how all this works in detail so that everyone can understand. Because, from our background and everyone who's analytical, right? We want to understand exactly how it works, have confidence in the program, and make sure we are getting our money back. Yes, we want to help others, but we also maybe don't want to lose money out of our pocket. So I'm happy to explain to everybody. I've been doing this for so long in terms of research and explaining to so many people. Once you know about it, you will never go back. Like, your eyes will be wide open and you will just feel foolish that you did not know about it and you did not participate and you did not help the community.
But you to understand that this does not benefit Rushabh, it doesn't benefit me personally. We're just doing it as a service for our subscribers. So maybe you can help offset somebody's need to pay for their education. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, that's fantastic. Again, I'm happy to help everyone become more informed and educated. I've learned so much, and we just have to pass the knowledge along and help each other.
So I would request all the viewers to share this so that you can have other people who might not even know about it. I didn't know about it. I've been paying taxes in Arizona for over 20 years and I heard about it. I thought it was illegal and that's why I never explored it. But now we have an expert here who can help. So get in touch and then let's make a difference.